What's up? What's up, good people? What's up, good people? It's been a minute, man. It's been over a month. It's been over a month. You are now in the no judgment zone with yours truly, Sean Taylor, discussing topics with no judgment, discussing topics with no judgments to every place that we're streaming. Facebook, my business Facebook page for imperfect, non-judgmental people, 50 and over, Twitch, Twitter, all the places that we are streaming right now. My YouTube channel, Gwyn's Boys Mindset. You are now in the no judgment zone with Sean Taylor, and we are discussing topics with no judgment. Now, people, like me and Brandon have always said before, listen, this is not, listen, man, we ain't judging people. This is not what this is about. We ain't trying to get into no debates with you. We just
Yeah.
discussing topics straight off the dome, nothing scripted. You know what I'm saying? Because we keeping it raw and real in this fake world of BS where everybody pretending to be this and pretending to be that, lying about this, lying about that, narcissists about this, narcissists about that, denied narcissists, and all this world of fakeness and facades. We keeping this 100 raw, straight off the dome. My co-host, my ace, that fella with the high top fade, Brandon Lampley, my co-host of the day. Brandon, what's up, B? What's up, B?
Man, another day, man. Feels good. Hey, it feels good to be back on with you, man. For sure.
Yeah, man, it feels good, man. People was asking me, Sean, you been? I said, listen, man, I've been going through some things, man. I needed a break. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get Sean back. I had to get my head clear, man. You know, sometimes you need to decompress from social media sometimes, man, because you know
Yeah.
it could be a lot. Sometimes I need to decompress for all the relationship experts, everybody who think they got the answers for this and that and that and this. So I just needed to, get my head right and, work on some things, man. So I'm back. I will not take a hiatus like that again. Lost myself. I will not never lose myself again. Trust me on that one. That strength is back. So hey, man, we finna put it in, man. So
Yeah.
I wanted the title to be about taking your power back. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we will relinquish our power to situations, circumstances, to people, and you kind of get your life and yourself, you get kind of discombobulated, kind of just scatterbrained, in disarray, so to speak. So you have to, how do you take your power back? How do you take your power back? You have to starve whatever you gave it to, you got to start starving it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm using a little analogy. You have to kind of starve your distractions, the thing that got you off focus, the thing that got you off course, the thing that just got you off track. Now you got to start starving it. You got to ignore the noise that's out there. You got to ignore the negativity that's out there. My mom used to say stuff like, don't let people steal your cool. Because sometimes, man, we get off track. It's possible
Absolutely.
for all of us. Sometimes we get off track. But once you get back on track, man, you get your power back. You find your strength back. You know what I'm saying? You find the love again when it comes to self. You remember who you are. Now you can get your power back. Never, ever relinquish your power to nothing or nobody. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I I had to go. You sometimes you have to go through some things, man, and you relinquish your power to just you can relinquish your power to anything, depression, sadness, whatever, grief, whatever. You can relinquish your power to anything, but you have to turn that table around, man. Get your mind right and come on back. Be what you think about that taking your power back, man. I love this title, bro.
Absolutely. Especially when it comes to social media, not only taking a hiatus off of it, but also when you do come back, cleanse your timeline. Stop, block
Yes.
certain people, unfollow certain people. You may follow this starlet, especially for the guys. We all know what you do on Instagram and TikTok and IG models and stuff. Cleanse your timeline. Stop following them. Stop following them. It'll put you in a different headspace. Just stop following them. I mean, it's just and that's a way you can take your power back.
Right.
Because man, you thinking about it, we're in overload when it comes to social media anyway. I heard a
Right.
guy say he's like the young man today has seen more naked flesh than all the men on the earth combined.
Wow.
So it's so it desensitizes you. So it's best to all that, especially with those twerking videos and all that stuff. Nah, take it off my timeline. Let me cleanse it. Now it's just it's sports, animals, babies, stuff like that. Take that stuff off. It'll put you in a different headspace and help you focus on the things that are important. Because once you realize that the things that you did give your power to are not important, once you realize those things are not important and they don't give any progress to your process, it's going to be easy to drop after that.
Definitely, man. I like how you say that last part again, B. I like what's that last part you said again?
Oh,
Say
if
that
it
again.
doesn't contribute to the progress of your process, it can
Mm.
easily be dropped.
Man, listen, man, listen. That's so dope right there, man. And decompressing from social media, man, gives you a sense of clarity. So
Yeah.
one of the things I did, man, is that I went to see things that I was following. As far as all that, Instagram, so I don't. That ain't even my thing. That ain't even my style. I ain't following no Instagram model for nothing. That's just not me. So, but if it wasn't coming in alliance with my positive realm of thinking, there's a lot of things I stopped following. Because my son was my son was talking about he's like, man, you don't hardly follow nobody on TikTok. I was like, nah, man. I said the people I follow, I know.
Yeah.
I personally know these people. If you go to my TikTok, um, I just started posting stuff on TikTok for business and just quotes and things of that nature. And my followers are rising, but I mean I may be following I think maybe 15 people, but I know all of them.
Yeah.
The people I'm following, I personally know them. I've had conversations with them. So, but just to be following people, just to be following people, man, it's just sometimes you have to go through a mental detox. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Of the stuff that it's almost like you have to take things out of your brain and put them in that computerized recycle bin, so to speak. You have to filter those things out, man. And so during this time, I just, spent, and I continue to spend more time with me, myself, and concentrate on things that I need to work on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I changed throughout this time. I changed my therapist from a female therapist to a male therapist, and a couple of clients asked me why did I do that. I said, well, I wanted somebody who is going to relate to me as a man,
Yeah.
someone who understands what what I go through as a man, not only as a man but a black man. So I
Yeah.
got me a black therapist, and he's taken my mind in different things. Like we've talked about just male issues, what men deal with in every capacity, and the dynamics of the conversation has changed, and he is making me think more differently from the male's perspective as far
Yeah.
as working on me, the inside of Sean. And it's a different narrative than I had with the female therapist. I am not knocking her. She was good. She helped me in some areas, but there was some disconnects and some things that were said that I necessarily didn't agree with. So I was like, you know what? I need to get me a male therapist, and I had a specific therapist that I wanted. I had talked to him previous before. We have had some conversations, man, and
Yeah.
he's just a dope dude, man. And he's a dude. It's nice to talk to people, man, that are very transparent and non-judgmental, because we live in a world where people are very, very judgmental. And he said something to me. He said, Sean, man, he said, what's very annoying when people be trying to live life like they got it all figured out, like they got all the
Yeah.
answers. He said, bruh, he said, Sean, I ain't got all the answers. You don't have all the answers. And he said, what's beautiful about that is admitting that you don't have all the answers. He said, Sean, he said, listen, man. And what I love, because I ain't never heard nobody say this, especially a therapist, he said, Sean, we are all messed up. Every one of us. He said, everybody walking this earth is messed up. And if they ain't messed up, they lying. And
Yep.
if they're not admitting they messed up, they hiding. He say, Sean, is everybody's messed up, but you got two people who are messed up. You got the ones who are admitting they're messed up, and you got the ones who is hiding and lying that they're not messed up. They're messed up in some type of way. And
Yep.
there's some area in their life they messed up in some type of way. He said the narcissist is always going to, the narcissist is always going to tell you that they're not messed up. The narcissist is the one that's never going to go seek the help. The narcissist is the one that's everybody's fault. The narcissist is the person who they guilt you, and they are so manipulative in mind games. They damn near is like Yoda from Star.
Yeah.
I mean, they damn near a Jedi. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's like Eddie Murphy said in Raw when he makes those he used to make those jokes about Mr. T, and he was like, you know, you were talking about me on your show. He's like, no, I wasn't. He said, I did old Jedi mind trick. No, I wasn't. Yes, you was. No, I wasn't. No, yeah, yes, you did. No, I didn't. Maybe you didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
said the narcissist is a person who they don't admit nothing. It is always everybody. And so he's
Yeah.
been on narcissist behavior for the past couple of weeks. And there's so much. I mean, the dude went in so deep about narcissistic behavior. He said, Sean, all these traits that I've told you about narcissists, I guarantee you've known or been involved with plenty of them, whether it's friends, loved ones, married, or whatever. You've been involved with narcissists and probably didn't even know that you was dealing with a narcissist.
Yeah.
And some people don't even know what narcissist behavior is. A narcissist, man, one of the biggest traits of a narcissist, they can never admit that they've never done anything wrong. They're always going to turn it on
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Nobody in their camp is man enough or woman enough to have the uncomfortable conversations about their narcissist behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a behavior pattern with the narcissist that they're so in denial about it. Boy, and you talking about mind games? A narcissist dude? Whoo,
Hey,
man, look at
Sean,
here.
I've seen where I've seen people get mad because you won't allow them to abuse you anymore. That's
Ooh,
narcissistic behavior
right,
right there. How
right,
dare
right,
you deny my abuse? How dare you walk away? Come
right,
get some
right.
more of this abuse. I've seen that before, and I'm like, wow.
It's so true, man. It's so true. A narcissist will have you losing your mind.
Yeah.
A narcissist will put you in a position where you think you going crazy.
Hey, I be
You don't,
apologizing. It ain't even my fault.
and it
You
ain't
be
even your
apologizing.
fault. And he made me go all the way back to my 20s. I mean, it's like he's like, Sean, and it was one of our conversations
Yeah.
was so dope. He said, Sean, we're gonna do some time travel. And we went all the way back to my 20s, bro. And he said, have you dealt with any of this type of behavior with anyone? And I was like, man. And I felt,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him, I said, bro, I feel so dumb. He said, Sean,
Yep.
you didn't recognize it. You didn't recognize it. He said, because there are women who got guys making them think they crazy, and you got guys that got women making them think they crazy. He said, man, those people are narcissists, man. He said they would never admit to wrong. They
Yep.
rarely apologize about anything. And it's always your fault. And if you call them out on anything, they automatically done with you. You a problem. You the issue. So he said,
Yep.
Sean, family members or friends, man. So we started just really, and what it does, he said, Sean, what this does, man, when you've been through things like that for years and not recognize it, now what it does, he said, I've just pulled the blinds back. I pulled the cover back. Now, all the people that you've probably been involved with have dealt with at some point in time that's showing any type of narcissist behavior. Now they're exposed. Now you can't get fooled ever again. You will never get fooled by a narcissist. So now you know the meaning. He said, you educated, brother. You know what narcissists mean, but sometimes We know the meaning of a thing, but we're not recognizing it because we're
Yeah.
so caught up. You see what I'm saying? We so
Mm-hmm.
caught up in the moment. We so caught up into the emotions. We so caught up into depression, the sadness. We so caught up into the fear. We so caught up into everything. So that time, me pulling back from not doing a podcast was so good for me and so beneficial. And just transitioning to a male, a black male therapist, man, you talking about night and day, brother. It's to be perfectly honest with you, B, it's been a huge blessing. I mean,
Yeah.
huge, because I'm talking to a dude who's relatable to me as a black man and as a man, and we talking about man stuff, real man issues, just
Yeah.
brutal, butt naked truth and transparency with it. And the things that I'm learning, he said, Sean, just give it a little bit to the men in small doses. Don't give them all of this because they won't be able to handle it. But just give them
Absolutely.
tidbits. Just give them
Absolutely.
tidbits, man, so they can. He said, it's like you got to spoon feed these babies, man, because so they can taste it and be like, golly, I'm going through that right now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
dealing with that. So there he broke down about how men are dealing with so many narcissists and don't even recognize the signs of it.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very sad thing. And the narcissist is so the narcissist is so amazingly good. They will make you feel like you are a narcissist and you ain't showing no signs of narcissist behavior, but you will believe it.
Yeah.
So my thing about it is, man, I tell people, man, be careful. Be careful. Do your homework on people. I mean, for real. Do your homework. Know the history. You know what I'm saying? Know the patterns. And then when you fall
Yeah.
into that, you won't be shocked. It's like, well, you know what? I've seen that pattern. So I don't want I don't want men to be fooled,
Yeah.
because it's always depicted as us. It's always depicted as us. We are always the problem. But then again, in a lot of cases, we ain't the problem.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have to take your power back in any situation. If you lost your job, your business then went under, you went through that divorce, that devastating breakup, your children been stripped away from you, you did some jail time, whatever, you got to get your power back. And that's men and women. You got to get your power back. B, I wanted to touch on something as far as power, and it's going off topic a little bit. This Roe
Mm-hmm.
versus Wade thing, man. This thing this ruling that came down on women. Um, I got a daughter, and I'm like, I don't agree with none of that, man. I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe that nobody has the power, or no one should have the right to tell a woman what she could do with her body. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, man? It's almost like they are stripping women's power away from what they need or what they can and what they can't do, um,
Mm-hmm.
about their body. As far as they pretty much strip their power away. What's your take on that, man?
Well, I understand why they did what they did and why they're doing what they're doing. I mean, you have the conspiracy theorists a part of it saying that it's about survival. Because remember, spoken about it before. Birth rates have been falling for the last 11, 12 years or so.
Right,
I think 10 out of 11 last 11 years they've been falling, and
right,
so they do. You break down the numbers on deleting your baby, because YouTube has an issue with the AB word. But when you break it down to that, they say women who make over 47 grand a year, they are the ones that get it's like 32% of them deleting their babies. But women who make less than, I think, 11 grand, it's only 8.9%. So this ruling, because they say, oh, this is going to affect the minority women and black women, and no, not that much, not really, because the ones who ain't have it before weren't really getting them, and they definitely not going to have it now, so they're not going to be able to get them. So that's not going to change much. What's going to change is the women who are able to get them or have to go on to spend more money in order to get them, you know. And they first thing they talk about is, of course, assault and incestuous relationships, medical reasonings. I know I've had an ex-girlfriend who they say if she carried the baby to term, she would most likely not make it. So she ended up, you know, getting rid of the baby. And hey, I'm not telling no women, no matter what, because I feel like, hey, if you just feel like you don't want to do it, you feel like you're not ready or whatever, being able to do it, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with women's right being able to choose over their body.
Right.
Oh, I'm fine with that. But this is my issue, Sean. And I seen another guy's named Dennis Sperling. He represented Kevin Samuels' family after his passing. Um, he talked about it. He said that you don't care about men's issues. So please tell me, why should I care about women's issues? And the first thing people say, well, you have a daughter, you have a mother, you have this, you have that. Those women care about me, yes. But women in general don't, because they don't know me.
Right.
So why should I care about those things? Because they don't, even if they knew me, they're not caring about the issues and the things I go through. So why
Right.
should I care? Now, if you want to
Right.
talk about equality, I'm all for marching on the steps of Washington and marching there and getting you your rights back. If you're talking about equality, I'm not fighting for you to be able to take the baby out and I still have zero reproductive rights. I have none. Shoot, I was talking to Nesco and his wife, and she didn't know that even if I sign my rights away, I'm still on the hook financially for the child. Because I said, if they changed the law today and said that men can walk away financially from a child that he did not want, she trapped them, said she was on this, and he didn't want it or whatever, and he could walk away from it, things would change dramatically. But they don't want that. That's true equality. If you can delete him, I should at least be able to walk away from him, at least if we want to talk about equality. But that's not what they want to talk about. They just want to talk about my body, my choice, my rights. It's mine. You have no say so in this right here. Cool. Okay, cool. But I want some rights as well. Now they're starting to see what it's like to be a guy, because as soon as the sperm leave your body, Sean, you powerless. You go ahead and hang it up. Whatever she decide to do with it is what she can do with it. You go ahead and hang that thing up, you know. But I find it very funny. You have these men like LeBron James, like Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar was one of the worst. He crying on stage talking about women's rights. I understand you banging the gong for women's rights, but he got the Jesus crown on and he crying on stage, making lyrics to women's rights and all of that. And I'm like, come on, dude. Because, and the reason I say that, Sean, is because when it comes to men's rights, they all quiet. Have you heard any of them talk about men's rights or the things that affect men? And they go through stuff.
But
I
you
don't hear it.
but you know what, B? I don't see it a lot, man. When I the women I see that's speaking up about men and what men go through, and who are being empathetic and sympathetic about what men go through.
It's
Um,
more of them than men do,
it,
Sean.
huh?
It's more of them. More of them speak on men's issues than the men I just named. Because you got
Yeah,
women out there that will speak on our issues that do care, but they care
yeah,
more than these men. Because like I ain't never heard none of them talk about men's issues, not once.
right,
But
right.
soon as
But
it's breast
I
cancer month, they got pink on.
right, and I've seen it. The social media outlet that I've seen it the most is like if I post something on TikTok, man, and something just come on my timeline, and I'll sit there and listen, man, because it's for me, it's because you don't see it a lot. And ladies, I want y'all to not get misconstrued what me and Brandon is saying. I made a post today. Um, it was on Instagram, and I think when I shared it, it went to my business Facebook page. Go there and read it. It's very informative. It's very enlightening too, as well. It's I made a post, and it was pretty much speaking on, and I've talked about this before, about instead of us listening to respond, but listening to really comprehend and take the judgments and emotions out of it, because you know uh, good choices aren't made from an emotional place.
Yeah,
And a lot of times when people make their decisions, it never comes from a place of logic, and it never comes. And I had this conversation with a young lady, and she laughed and she said, "Sean, you are right. We do, as women, pretty much 98% of our decisions is from an emotional place." She said, "We
Mm-hmm.
think about it." And it was so transparent. It was a client of mine that actually said it. She said, "We think, yeah, we think. Thinking is not the problem. It's how we think as women.
Yeah.
We don't think logically." She said, "We think emotionally."
Yeah.
And she said, "What is that thing that you said, your sensei, your mom used to tell me?" I said, "Oh, an emotional decision ain't never the right decision. An emotional choice ain't never a right choice." Um, but she said, "What is that thing you said?" But I said, "Oh, love isn't a feeling. Love does despite what it feels." And she was like, and she's like, "Exactly." She's like, "People get love and feeling mixed up. They're
Yeah.
two separate entities. A feeling, that's an emotion.
Yeah.
Love ain't conditional. Love does in spite of what it feels." She said, "The problem with people is," she's like, "Sean, you've said it before, they don't even know what love is." That's and that
Yeah.
their vision, their thought process on love is an emotion. It's a feeling. Here's the thing. She said, "Sean, she said, it's so true about uh, we live in a world where common sense ain't common. None of them use hardly common sense. Think about it like this. You mean to tell me you in love with this person, but now you feel this way, so you ain't in love with them no more?"
Yeah.
So here's the thing. It does in spite what it feels, because it's not a feeling. That's
Mm-hmm.
why love is consistent. That's why love is continuous. And I tell people all the time, you can tell me till you blue in the face that you love me. You like me a hell of a lot, but you ain't love me. Because if you did, and I heard a brother say this. I heard a brother say this. Nobody walks away from what they want.
Yeah.
Nobody walks away from what they want. People
Yep.
have stayed in messes for 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years
Mm-hmm.
because they want it to be there.
Yep.
So if anybody walks away from you, they ain't want you in the first place, bruh. Sis, he ain't want you in the first place. They lied. They lied. They lied like hell. Because let
Yeah.
me tell you something, because my mom used to tell me this all the time. Baby, love ain't got nothing to do with feelings. These fools out here think they know what love is and they don't even know the quantity, the quantum of love. You don't even know you don't even know what it is, the equivalency of what it is. Because when you know what it is, you know that feelings ain't got nothing to do with it. That's your emotions.
Yeah.
So you feel a certain way, so you done. That's your feelings. You talking about you ain't love that dude. You never loved that guy. You liked him for a moment. Dude, you ain't love her. You liked her for a moment, because if you really loved her, you going to go through the BS. You going to deal with it all. But you would stay with Gumps talking about you love them. And you'd be like, all right, okay. So people don't understand how they expose themselves in the moves they make and what they say. You can try that on somebody with a dummy, but an intellectual person, they ain't gonna say nothing. They be like, "Man, this person really think I'm stupid." But you know what? Yeah, what is? Because people tell on themselves and don't even know they tell on themselves. All you have
Yep.
to do is listen, because they don't even have good comprehension skills with them own self. They don't even know their own self. So if they can't even comprehend who they are as a woman or a man, how can they tell anybody about anything about themselves? I mean, that's the thing. Our whole world, they got feelings and they got love. They are totally two different things, people. Your feelings has nothing to do with love. You need to sit back, be by yourself, and learn and get educated on what love is. Love ain't your feeling. Your feelings is over here.
Mm.
Your feelings is your mood swing. Those are warm and fuzzies. If you feel good and feel like doing something, okay, you go with it. Love does in spite of what it feels. You know what I'm saying? I had a real mother who taught me that. And some people ain't got the parents to even teach them what love is. And that's sad because these people are growing up and don't even know how to even interact when it comes to love. Love is
Yep.
something when you are rejecting it, it's still trying to be there constant for you. When you giving it attitude, it's still trying to be there constant for you. When you tell I don't want you no more, it's still trying to be there constant. See, that ain't got nothing to do with your feeling because it's doing in spite of what it feels. So all of y'all who think you know what love is, you don't have a clue. Because if you did, your attitudes and your moves, your gestures, your way you talk, it would be different. You wouldn't be going through 3, 4, 5 divorces. You like these people, man. Y'all know how to like the hell out of people. Y'all don't even know what love is. Little
Yeah.
baby, little bruh, I'm sorry, man. You got to go back to school and find out what the true definitive meaning of love and feelings, what they are. They're two total different entities. Get in your Webster's dictionary so you can get educated.
Yeah. When it comes to feelings too, Sean, the Roe v. Wade, the way people have they've gotten they lie to women so much, man. It's
Right,
amazing. Society, the family, the church, their job.
right,
I mean, it doesn't
right,
matter. Men lie to women lie to other women. Um, they lied to women in these situations to evoke emotion out of them. So if
right.
you just go look at the laws, all they did was turn it over to the state. That's what they did. They turned it over to the state. They
Oh,
didn't say,
yeah,
hey, you can't delete that baby. No, they turned it over to the state. So your individual state, whatever their laws are, and a lot of them have very restrictive laws now, but most of them, like I know I think Atlanta and Texas got the heartbeat bill. So after
right,
6 weeks, you can abort after 6 weeks. But if you could do it before then. And then you got places like California that's free and clear. I think you can do it at any time or something like that. I think it's something where it's almost up to the birth where you can delete the baby or whatever. But if you just look at the laws and look at what it is,
right.
get out of your emotions. And this is the thing. You got 30 plus forms of birth control. This is the thing. All you're doing now with this is telling women, hey, you just have to be more careful. You
That's
have
it.
so many preventative measures so you don't have a child by somebody you don't want to have the child with. Because let's be honest, the numbers, I don't know how accurate the numbers are, but from what I've seen, they kept record in Florida. And for 92% of them in Florida were elective, meaning they gave no reason. And the reasons on there were assault, incestuous relationships, detriment to the baby's health or the mother's health. That was made up less than 8% of them. 92% was elective, no reason. And a lot of them, what that means is a lot of them, and not all of them, of course, because some may not want to name the reason it was, but a lot of them
Right.
using it as birth control. And
Mm,
so hey, it is what it is. They want you, they're stopping that. So, but women will be fine, they're going to fight. But this is the thing, it's going to take a while for you to get any progress going on this. If you want to be able to take your baby out at any time, free and clear, anywhere in the world, to be able to get that, it's going to take a long time. So until that day comes, you need to adapt to the laws now, because hey, you
mm.
can't act like you don't know now. You can't act like you don't know now. So until that time, be responsible with your body, because that's what men get. That's what men get, Sean. And people, they'll say, "Oh, well, that's insensitive. You don't speak on women's bodies." But as a man, I've been told. My grandmama told me before I could even understand what she was talking about. You lay in the you make the bed. You got to lay in it. So you make this decision. You decide to be with this girl and be with that girl. Before I even knew what she was talking about, before I was even having sex, she was like, "You got to take responsibility for the situation." And what she told me was, hey, you either wear protection or you don't do it at all. Those are the options I was given. And
Right.
that's pretty much, those are the same options we have as men today. It has not changed. But for women, there's so many forms of birth control. You got the Plan B pill. You know, you got all these different forms, and now I'm supposed to feel sad because you can't delete your baby, because the first thing they bring up is, well, what about those women who were forced in incestuous relationships, or it's a medical thing? Those are a small percentage, and for the most part, for the states I've seen, they still make exceptions for those situations. Nobody's saying that, oh yeah, you got to raise this baby, and you might die. You got to have this baby, and it's a detriment to your health. You got to have this baby, and some random dude rolled up on you and got you pregnant after assaulting you. No, I haven't seen those laws. That's where they lie to women and invoke emotion, because all they say is they want control over your body. What is that going to do? That's going to evoke emotion out of you. And so
Right.
that come with the whole, they, well, we want to take our power back. You have the power. You have the power to choose to whether you want to be in this situation or not. No, people make it seem like everybody just these righteous women, and you know, they doing all these righteous things. No, a lot of them are just out here making mistakes like everybody else. Nobody's perfect. Like I say, everybody's messed up. They're out here making mistakes. And now your fail safe for the mistakes you were making, people telling you, certain states are telling you, hey, you can't do that here. So hey, you either move from the state or you adapt.
Right. Right. So they and so some states haven't gotten on board with this.
No, it's like 13 states. They're like, hey, come on. And then you got companies like Tesla. Tesla has given women like a package to where if they want to go, if they don't live in the state that provides it, they give them transportation and hotel stay in order to go get it where you were able to get it. So say a lady's in Florida here, and she wants to they don't have it here anymore, and Florida's kind of on the line right now. I don't know exactly
Oh, so
how far they're going.
Florida hadn't made the decision yet.
For the most part, I've seen that they're in the automatic ban, but I guess they're still
Right.
haggling over what the stipulations are and
Oh, okay. Okay.
how far
Gotcha.
you can go with it. So let's say she stay here and she don't fall under being able to get it here, then they're gonna give her money to go out to say California to go get it done. You know, so you got corporations and stuff like that who are there to help women out. But the thing about that is, Sean, is that they don't want to pay maternity leave. So of course I'm gonna give you money to go get it deleted, because they don't want to pay maternity leave.
Mm, mm. Yeah, man. This thing, a lot of this is gonna come down to discipline and willpower, and
Mm-hmm.
and just being you know, proactive and using certain precautionary measures so you don't get pregnant, because discipline is simply just doing it no matter what emotional state your mind is in. You know what I'm saying? And again, when emotions are involved in things, man, there's nothing good that comes out of it.
No.
Taking your power back, and this is one thing I've learned in therapy. Taking your power back, you got to take emotions out of it. If you do
Yeah.
not take it, in order to get your power back in any capacity, in any facet, if you don't take emotions out of it, you will never get your power back. Your power is just going to constantly stay relinquished to whoever has it, or whatever thing that has a situation or circumstance, because you have to take emotions out of it. Emotions just screws up so much when it comes to decisions, and you are never going to have your power because your emotions is the leading cause of the decisions that you make.
Yeah.
So unless you take your emotions out of it, and this is men and women, and this goes beyond what we're talking about the Roe versus Wade thing, but you got to take your emotions out. You want your power back? Get your emotions out of it. Get your feelings
Yeah.
out of it, because those things right there is ruining so much in your life. You have to be man enough or woman enough to be like, you know what? I got to acknowledge this. I gotta quit making emotional decisions. I got to
Yeah.
quit talking out of emotions. I got to quit treating people out of emotions. I got to quit being mean out of emotions and saying stuff sideways out my mouth out of emotions, getting arguments with people at work out of emotion, getting arguments, blah, blah, blah. Everything is coming from an emotional place. You have no stableness in you, because emotions, an emotional person is an unstable individual. You
Yeah.
got to clearly understand that. You got a comment, B?
Yeah. Say this person Twitch of a witch says hello.
Oh, okay.
No
That's
new
my
Twitch follow, I guess. Somebody
right, right.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing, B. I mean, it's funny that we talking about taking your power back, man. We can't get away from that emotion, can we? We can't get away from those
Yeah.
feelings, can we, B? Because
Yeah.
that's got a lot of reason why people ain't got that. That's why people are losing their power.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you are mad at, you're bitter at, you're resentment at, or whatever, whatever you got a problem with, whatever you're avoiding, whatever you're fearful of, it's got your power. Whether it's a person, place, or thing, it's got your power.
Yeah.
So if whatever you still bitter at, you ain't got no power. You holding resentment, you ain't got no power. You still mad, you ain't got no power. You didn't cut this person off, you ain't got no power. You ain't got no power. You're powerless. You're walking around here pretending like you got it all together. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. No, none of us do. We
Yeah.
all in the same boat. The difference between me and you and Brandon is me and Brandon admitting ours. Y'all act like y'all got all the answers, and you don't.
Right.
Just admit that you messed up and choose which type of messed up that you want to deal with and just move on from there. But don't walk around here like you got all the answers. You ain't even got all the answers in your marriage. Hey, listen, everybody, if you're married or whatever, it's almost like you living paycheck to paycheck, man. You trying to figure that thing out on a daily
Yeah.
because curveballs are constantly going to be thrown at you. So you don't have this thing figured out. None of us do. We are all in the same boat. But you got the real people and you got the pretenders. The pretenders always, oh yeah, they got it, you know. Oh, yeah. Like, man, I know and it's funny, you know some people and you know they messed up from A to Z. But it's not my job to go out there and put your business out in the street. I know you screwed up. You know what I'm saying? And people that know you screwed up. Nobody just ain't saying nothing to you because we already know the response we gonna get at you.
Yeah.
Nobody don't want to feel.
And
Nobody don't feel like arguing with you and fighting with you and fussing with you because you don't listen anyway. You ain't listened for the last 15 years. So what's gonna change?
yeah. Yeah. And you're right about the emotion, man, and feelings, and not allowing people to draw you in with that, because they do it all the time. They
All the
do it
time,
with the black community, man. They
right?
do it with us. They do it with us all the time.
All the
It
time,
doesn't
bro.
it seemed like they're reading from the same playbook, man. I was talking to a buddy last night and I said, just think about the politicians and how they pander to black people. Hey, they come out they ivory tower, they come down and do a little jig with you, march in the marching band, talk about they got hot sauce in their purse, saying that you ain't black if you don't vote for them, and they listen
Right.
to hip hop music, and they used to smoke, and they used to do all these things. And they come down, they act like they want you, get your vote, and then they go back to the ivory tower and turn their backs. I mean,
It's
it's the same thing.
yeah. It's like a used car salesman. It's a sales tactic. In sales, they got
Yeah,
this tactic that's called the emotional nugget. Okay,
yeah,
so they got this sales tactic that is emotional nugget that people are they're gonna tap on your vulnerable emotional nugget. That's just like two people meeting for the first time. They're on a date. That person is selling that they selling each other their best representative at that time
mm-hmm.
and saying who they are. And when it comes time to show up and show out, and when it comes time to be committed to the commitment, now that person is not who they say they were in the beginning. So you lied
Right.
to that person that whole time, but that's that person's MO. So they tapped on your emotional nugget, and that's how they got you, and that's how they pulled you in. Same thing, people do that with relationships, people do politicians. They plan on that emotional nugget. See, now when you get
Mm-hmm.
mentally too, see, once the blinders come off from the BS and you start to see things clearly,
Yeah,
nobody will be able to fool you no more. And so,
yeah,
because I was talking today about willpower being weak-willed and easily influenced, about just eating right. So I'm talking today, and I'm like, so you mean to tell me you gonna eat whatever that dude is eating just because you see it. You gonna buy in that he tells you, oh baby, you look fine. When you looking at them three stomachs in the mirror, you know you don't look fine. But listen, this dude don't want you to better yourself physically. And you gonna listen to him, and then you going to succumb to the bad food and the drinking yourself into oblivion, but you trying to work on your body. Let me tell you something. If that dude loves you, he gonna want you to be at your best. You fit, so y'all don't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
If he truly loves you, he wants you to be at your best. He is not going to fight you. It's called support.
Yep.
If she loves you, she gonna want you to be your best. It's called support. You know what I'm saying? You get with somebody, listen, you ain't got no bag to bring to the table. At least have some support and loyalty to bring to the table. You ain't got to have,
Yeah.
you ain't got a bag. Oh, okay, I get it. You ain't got a bag. At least have some support and loyalty to bring to the table. These people out here ain't even got that, bro. So my thing about it is that they plan on people's emotions. That's how you get people in. But sooner or later, you're gonna be exposed for who you are, because what's in you is gonna come out you eventually, and that's who you are. That's how you are. That's how you've been all your life. That person just wasn't involved with you. And once they see it, like, oh, okay, all right, okay, I'm not now. I'm now okay. But you have to understand, in order to see things clearly, you
Mm-hmm.
have to get out your emotions and your feelings, people, to get your power.
Yeah.
Y'all walk around here talking about y'all living y'all best life, but you got the old boy got your power. Old girl on the job got your power. Your mama and
Mm-hmm.
daddy got your power. Your sister and your brother got your power. You ain't got no power. You know
Yeah.
why? Because you stuck in an emotional closet. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, drenched in emotion. Talking about you living your best life. If you living your best life, where's your power?
Yep.
If you living your best life, you ain't got no resentment. If you living your best life, you ain't got no bitterness. If you live in your best life, you forgiving quickly. So a lot of y'all think y'all got power. You walk around here powerless. You looking like
Yeah.
a brand new fool every single day, talking about, oh, I'm living my best life. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Listen, man, you can avoid this and avoid that. Listen, bro. Listen, sis. You ain't got no power.
Yeah.
If
And
you running for something, if you're cowering your way out of something, you ain't got no power, man. You
and
powerless.
And Sean, what they do to pacify you, to keep you in that sleep state. Because that's why they say don't you got to. That's why your therapist say you got to give them tidbits of information. Everybody
Exactly.
doesn't want to be pulled out of the matrix. People are
Mm-mm.
fine exactly where they are. Don't save them if they don't want to be saved. That's
You
just
can't.
what it is. But
You
speaking
can't.
of empty gestures, is a way that they pacify us, especially as Black people. Like this right here. I don't know if y'all can see this, but
Oh, I
that's
see it.
a statue. That's a statue of a pick in New Orleans.
Mm.
Whose idea was this? That's what I want to know. Whose idea was this? How much money did this cost? How much labor? You could have done so many other things for the community, but put a damn pick in the middle of downtown. Come on, dog. Like seriously? And people's like, "Oh, it's breathtaking. Oh, is that what? How does that help me? Can I use that on my hair? Like that can't help me at all."
Mm.
But that's once again, Juneteenth is another one. Making that a holiday. That's a pacifier, man. And then
Yeah.
what they done did already. They done co-opted the holiday. You got white people running around in dashiki singing African songs now on during Juneteenth now. So all they did was take it into commercialized it and they made money off of it, but they put it up there to pacify you. Once
Mm.
again, take it and you want to talk about powerless? That's powerless right there. And all you got
Mm.
to do is not fall for the BS. That's it. That's it.
That's it, man. And it, God, man, this is good. Boy, we got to do a part two to this one. Listen, I mean that is so true. You can't fall for it, man. Don't
Yeah.
fall for it. Don't fall for it. There are certain things and certain moves you have to make to take your power back. and you have to
Yep.
starve your distractions. You got to
Yep.
starve your negativity. You got to starve it. Sometimes, if, and fellas, some of the greatest men in the Bible, some of the greatest men in the Bible have
Yep.
fallen short based off
Yep.
what's in between a woman's legs. Let me tell
Mm-hmm.
you something, man. Y'all ain't gonna want to hear this, and some people ain't gonna want to like, and some people ain't gonna, and some people ain't gonna like this. Some people ain't gonna, some you have to start controlling. And this is something that I'm learning. You have to start controlling your sexual urges. Fellas, listen
Absolutely.
to me what I'm saying, man. Y'all need to get this. You got to start controlling your sexual urges. You have to condition yourself mentally to refrain from that sexual activity to get your power back. Because there are certain women out here, man. You get with them, man. It's hard to unrelinquish, it's hard to unravel yourself from that thing,
Mm-hmm.
man, because that thing is powerful. That thing has caused wars.
Yes.
That thing has got dudes killed.
Mm-hmm.
That's how powerful that thing is between them legs. That thing has caused wars and got people killed. See how you get your power back. You fall back on cool.
Yep.
You spend some time to yourself and you think logically. Because men, we already ahead of the eight ball because we logical thinkers, because that's how God made us. God didn't make us to think from an emotional place. We
Yeah.
think logically. And that's why when dudes, when you get caught up into that emotional place and you have to break out of that emotional prison, when you finally break out of that emotional prison and you sit somewhere and you think, you start replaying everything and you
Yep.
start catching it. Boom, there it is. Boom, I missed that. Boom, I missed that. Boom, I missed that. Boom, they told me that. Boom, I told you start missing. It's almost like in a movie where they miss the signs, and then when the dust settles and he start replaying stuff, he's almost start laughing because you missed the signs. You missed all of them. You missed them day one.
Yeah.
So taking your power back, control your sexual urges, and stop the chasing.
Yes.
Listen, when you chasing, whatever you chasing, whatever you chasing is running from you. And
Yep.
see, Gwen taught me this, and I have been a dummy over and over and over again. That woman put me on game as a teenager. And if I had to adhere to everything that woman told me about women, about relationships, about chess moves, if I would have money, everything, if I would have just listened to that woman, there's so many things in my life I would not have encountered, I would not have endured, I would not have put myself through because today, July 1st, 2022, the only person I'm mad at is Sean Patrick Taylor. The only person I got a problem with is Sean Patrick Taylor because you know why? I'm a chess player. I know better.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm a street dude. I know better. I done been locked up. I know better. I'm highly intelligent, educated, street smart, the whole nine, and I still have messed up. See, fellas, you got to get to that place, man, that you got to start controlling those sexual urges, telling yourself no, and
Mm-hmm.
stop chasing. Big man, get your paper up, man. Get on your
Get
purpose.
your paper up.
Get that business where it need to be, baby. Focus on you. Write that book. Do what you got to do, man. Because whatever you chasing is running from you. When you chasing, it's running. And you
Yep.
are putting so much time and effort in the chase. You are putting so much time and effort in the sex. Start turning that thing around. Do a 360, baby. Do a 360. Cut yourself off from everything and watch how things start to change. It starts to change daily for you because now you can think. Now you out of that emotional jail, that emotional prison that you was locked in. You had yourself locked up in. Now you done broke
Yeah.
up out of it. But now you can get that mental. See, because when you tie down to that distraction, listen, We are, listen, man, I get it. I get it. Men for years have been socially conditioned to the chase.
Yeah.
We have been socially conditioned, baby, to the chase. Gwen was telling me, stop, don't chase, because dogs chase after cars. And I couldn't understand that concept. But she was pretty much telling me men have been socially conditioned for the chase for years. Baby, stop chasing. Focus on you. Focus on the big man upstairs. Focus on your business. Focus on your kids. That's what my focus is. My focus ain't on nothing but those three.
Yeah.
Stop. And I get it. We are socially conditioned for that, but you can socially uncondition yourself from that chase to
Yeah.
get back on your
Reprogram.
purpose.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to reprogram your thought process, and you have to go back to basics.
Yeah.
And that's what we got to get back to, going back to basics, because once I was infuriated with myself, just pissed off, because all I heard was Gwen was like, boy, I raised you better than that. I gave you the playbook, man. This is what you do, son. Came to me and it just was just talking to me. You go back to the drawing board, son. Go back
Yeah.
to the drawing board. Get your focus. Get your focus. Go back to, remember what I taught you. Remember, you know
Yeah.
everything. You know the playbook, Sean, from the first page to the last. You got to get back to that. Because once you get back to that, you're going to be like, And I'm back to it. And it's such a good feeling, like, I don't see you.
Yeah.
No, I'm
And
good. I'm
it's easy
straight.
to fall into, Sean,
It's
because like you said,
it's so easy to fall
we've
into.
been programmed on a regular basis. It's in everything, Sean. It's in, if you think about it, it's literally in everything. You can't turn anything on without
Mm-hmm.
seeing that programming,
Right,
social
right,
media, commercials, movies, music. I mean, advertising, you name it. They want you to simp. That's just what they want you to do. They want you to simp. They want you to keep you in that state where I guess you don't realize what's going on. They want to keep you in the dark. But the easiest thing to do, because even if you're not one of those men who can can hold masculine frame and be that guy, anybody saying you got to be tough and macho and uber
right,
masculine and all of that, no.
right.
You know what you can do? You could be the nerdiest guy, pocket square, with the Coke bottle glasses on. You know what you can do? Tell her, you like, look here, baby, you gonna watch this Urkel ass walk away. That's what you're gonna do. You watch it, walk away, and walk away. You vote with your wallet and you vote with your feet. I heard the guy was talking about it. He said that money that you're saving or you're building towards to do this for some woman or do that for some woman, or you just have money, you're going to purchase this for some woman or do this for that woman. He said, take that and spend it on yourself. He said, take it and spend it on yourself. He said, because most likely, whoever you're going to spend it on, he said it's going to be like flushing it down the toilet. Now you got your good woman, she reciprocate, and y'all got a good thing going, and you want to do for her, that's fine.
Right.
But what a
Exactly.
lot of dudes do, they do it to get in the good graces of women. They do it to impress women that care nothing about them. Take that money and spend it on yourself. Invest it into yourself. Then you'll have, he say women to be interested in that. They be like, man, this dude really cares about himself. He spend on himself. He take care of himself. He invests in himself, and they're going to like that all top versus you spending money on them.
Fellas, let me give you another tidbit, man, on something. If you're chasing anything, it's running away from you due to the fact that you're constantly chasing it. Let me retort.
Yep.
If you're chasing anything, it's running away from you due to the fact that you're constantly chasing it. So cease and desist from chasing it. Let me tell you something, and this is something that Gwen told me. Boy, they ain't finna like this one. Women rarely, you rarely, it's like seeing a unicorn if you see it. Women rarely chase after men. Rarely chase after men.
Yeah.
Rarely. So that's almost like non-existence. You know what I'm saying? or is she playing a game about her, because her economic conditions, pushes her to do it? You know what I'm saying? But it's a rare case because they don't have to chase.
Yeah.
It's rare. But
Simps are in abundance.
you got to get back on your purpose, man, because whatever you chasing, it's running away from you due to the fact that you are constantly chasing it down. And you got to stop doing that, man. Wherever your focus is, wherever your energy is, wherever your effort is, that's where everything's going. And why? And then you're neglecting 10 other things that's vitally important for your success rate as a man and your status. So you have to get back on your purpose. You see what I'm saying? When
Yep.
it's time, it's time. And just like B said, when it's reciprocal, because you got some amazing women out here who are empathetic and sympathetic, and they love doing good things for their men.
Yep.
There's some women out here that there's some great, phenomenal women out here who believe in reciprocation. They believe in it. Their mothers raised them up on it. And then you got some women out here who wasn't raised the right way. They
Yep.
was raised to use and manipulate. So, and they wasn't even taught. You got
Yep.
men out here who wasn't even taught how to love. You got women out here who weren't even taught how to love. You got men out here who wasn't even their moms and fathers didn't even break down what love really meant. You got women out here who mothers and fathers didn't break down what love meant. You got men out here who moms didn't and fathers didn't break down the difference between a feeling and what love is, that they totally two different things, so they don't grow up getting them misconstrued.
Yep.
And you got women who wasn't taught that either. How you know that? Because as adults, you can see in their actions and how they move when they supposedly love this person or that person. They wasn't taught that as a kid. I don't blame them. I blame their parents. They wasn't taught, and they still ain't being taught because now they're the age they so stuck in their ways. They unteachable.
Yep. I mean, it's
Narcissists are unteachable people.
yeah.
They're going to take offense to everything you say, even when you coming from a sweet, loving place.
Yeah.
They will look at you emotionless, straight poker face. It's almost like you looking at death as if they have no feelings whatsoever. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man, be careful out there.
Yeah. You
Please
just
be careful.
described the dating market, Sean.
What's
You
that?
just described the dating market.
How
That's
so?
so remember we talk about it. The dating market today is basically, in a nutshell, how can I get the most out of this person without giving up anything in return?
Wow.
That's what the dating market is today.
Wow.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, a bunch of finessers, people who don't care about people. They're looking out for number one, trying to see what they can get. That's what the market is now. That's
Oh,
why.
people. My mom called those people who are they like to collect collectibles. They
Mhm.
trying to collect as much as they can collect from each person. They go from one person. Okay, I didn't collect this amount from this person. Now I'm going to go and
Yeah,
collect this. Now I'm going to collect this. They're hoarders of collectibles. They
yeah,
collecting as much as they can collect, from money to things done or whatever. I get it, man. Chalk
yeah.
it up
Because
to a game. Chalk it up
you
to a
could
game.
enter into the market with pure intentions and be very staunch on what you want, know what your standard is, know what you
Right.
want, and you're gonna still run in the jackasses.
Oh
That's just
yeah.
what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just what it is. So you run into enough of those, you're gonna be like, man, it seems like everybody's playing the game this way. And so what do
Yeah.
people do? They start
Right.
playing the game that way.
Right. 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 But in the end, ladies and gentlemen, you will lose.
You're gonna lose.
It's inevitable. You will lose. And what goes around, oh, it's coming. But it always comes back in different forms, man. Make sure at the end of the day that your side of the street's clean and you end that thing the way it's supposed to be. You do the right thing, man. You ain't got to be nasty or whatever. Treat people how you want to be treated, man. Because man, there's some bridges that you may burn. you may have to go cross that bridge again.
Yeah.
You may have to go cross that bridge again. And I had to learn that. That's a hard life lesson that I've had to learn multiple times. But if I would have listened to Gwen the first time, I wouldn't have had to go through that. But you got to start taking your power back by starving your distractions. If you do not starve your distractions, if you do not starve the negativity, if you do not starve the resentment and the bitterness and unforgiveness, you are going to constantly be powerless, and you have no power. You are one of those people who are faking the funk, acting like you got it all together, and you don't. Listen, man, I'm fly by nighting it just like everybody else. I wish I had it all together, but I don't. That's coming from
Yeah.
Sean Patrick Taylor's ears to the world. I'm not faking, trying to be pretend nothing. My circle is minuscule or small. I don't have a lot of friends. I got 2, maybe 3 really good friends here. I don't see every day. That's it. I don't go places. I don't hang out. I don't do crowds. I don't do none of that stuff because I've partied and been all over the world more than 10 different men has done in 10 different lifetimes. What you was doing in your 20, what you was doing in your 20s, what you doing now in your 40s, traveling the world or whatever, I was doing that in my 20s and 30s. I've already done it, baby. You behind the 8 ball. Passports and all this stuff and going to, I've been everywhere. So I'm pretty much in a retirement phase right now. I'm chilling. You seeing stuff that I didn't seen when I was in my 20s and 30s. I'm sorry. I made that my goal purpose when I was young. So my whole thing about this is, fellas, I'm telling you, I used to think I was a sex addict. You have to control those sexual urges and refrain
Yeah.
from them and put yourself under subjection and be like, you know what? Nah, I ain't giving myself to nobody. Unless that's gonna be my wife, I'm going all out for that person. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
all out for that person. You see what I'm saying? Don't play yourself, fellas. Don't play
Yeah.
yourself because when you go through these things, you get set back mentally, emotionally, and financially. Major setbacks. And now
Yep.
you're on the rebuild. Now you got to be right back on the come up when you already had your stuff all in a row. Dealing with the wrong individual, man. You be asked out. So all I'm saying is that if you want to get your power back, start going back from making those checkers move, going back to making chess moves. That's how you're gonna get your power back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, B. B,
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Yeah.
this
This
is a
this
good
was
one,
this was
boy.
a good one, man. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a
Yeah. This
real
was
good
good.
one.
But
Yeah,
man, you have to.
it's not gonna be popular amongst the natives, but you
No,
know,
no,
it is what it
especially
is.
especially when you talk about having discipline with your Johnson. Um, they're not going to like that. You know, hey, I
Right,
ain't trying to
right.
police, I ain't trying to salami police. You put it wherever you want to put it, but understand what's going to come out of it, man. Shoot, you got the guy. I don't know if you saw the video I did when I did my show Wednesday. I opened it up and talked about it. The girl, she's arguing with her baby's father of one of her children about bringing food for all of her kids.
Wait a minute. You know what? Now, B. Now it was 5:30. Hold on, B. I'm that. You know what, B? I knew I meant to call you this on a one-off
Mm-hmm.
yesterday because I just found out about that story from my client Katrina at 5:30 in the morning. She's like, Sean, she took a breather. She said, Sean, did you hear about that? And so here's the thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, before she went into the store, I said, Katrina, I know I'm reaching when I say this, baby girl, but I'm reaching. I'm reaching because I'm hoping that there's a glimmer of hope
Mm-hmm.
in what I'm about to say next.
I already know
I
what you're
say,
about to say.
I say, Katrina, please, I'm hanging on by a thread about what I'm going to ask you next. I'm praying, I'm
Yeah.
hoping, and she looking at me like, Sean, just spit it out. I say, Katrina, please tell me it wasn't one of our people. Boy, the look she had on
I knew
her
this.
face, the
I knew
look
this was
she
you about
had
to
on
say.
her face. You ever
Yeah.
seen that Martin meme where he got that smirk, man? She looked at me like, man, you know this was a black person. I was like, oh man. I say,
Yeah.
why do my people keep doing this? And
Yeah.
so Katrina put on her, she's like, Sean, you got to listen to this. She brought me her phone in between us set, and I sat there and listened. As I'm sitting there listening to it, I could not believe what bullshiggity shit that I was literally listening to. And I say, man, can we stop looking stupid out here, man? And I'm like, okay, I'm listening to what she's saying. Okay, I'm listening really hard. She lost me when she said, my food stamps come on the 7th or 11th. I said, man, listen here. Look at here. Now, me and Katrina, we're thinking in an old school realm. Back in the day, you cut up the food and make sure every kid get a little something, something, something. You could have came from a old school's perspective and did that. But all that unnecessary stuff. And the brother brought up some valid points. He brought up some valid points, like where the rest of these daddies at?
Yeah.
So I'm like, he's like, and just the whole reaction to the brother throwing the food on the ground, it
Yes.
was
Yes.
it was very distasteful, disheartening, and extremely disrespectful. And
Mm-hmm.
some things are below the belt, man. And I just don't understand why our people got to constantly make us look like
Yeah.
some fools out here in these streets, man.
Yeah.
I'm
But I
like,
will
are you
say, I blame him, Sean, because if he had some discipline, some sexual discipline, because a man without sexual discipline is a liability. That's why we talk about it so much, and that's why we harp on it so much. You're a
right,
liability. You're a
right,
liability to yourself and those around you if you don't
right,
have discipline. You know.
right,
But this is on him because she said it. She did a response video, and she was like, Our kid is the last kid. I had 3 kids before him, and he came in, taking care of those kids. They were together, and he had a kid with her. Then they broke up. Now he just want to take care of his kid. And she like, well, you still coming over here trying to do stuff with me, but you don't want to bring stuff with my other kids. Yes, sir. This is your fault. And she said
yeah,
it. The one thing she said, Sean, I had to agree with her is she said, you knew what you were getting into. And
yep,
that
yep,
means
yep,
everything.
yep. When she
I
said
couldn't
that,
argue with
when
her when she said that.
when she said that, I just shut up. I was like, well, you know
I
what?
can't I can't argue
I
with her.
say she I don't know this dude. She know him better than me. I'm just sitting here listening to what they were talking about, So I was like, well,
Yeah,
that's sister on to something. You know what I'm saying? So I was
yeah.
like, all right, okay, okay, it is.
When she said that, I was like, well, my brother, yeah, she got you right there. Because
Right,
you did it before and now you stop. That
right,
dude, what you should have did was you should have had your fun and you should have dipped. Should have never had no kids with her. To come in trying to play stepdaddy and all of that. No, you put yourself in this situation. And that's where men
right,
you have to take. That's where you can take your power back as a man, knowing that, hey, look at any prominent man. Shoot, look at R. Kelly. He just got 30 years. Weinstein. Look at all these guys who've gotten in trouble. Look at Deshaun Watson. They put themselves in these
right,
situations.
right, right, right,
You
right,
got to
right.
remember that.
And that's
And
why
don't,
I was, and B, that's why I went into you know, just powerful men,
yeah,
in the Bible, man. I mean, just men, period, man. I mean, you have screwed up situations all because, man, you got a nosy penis. I done been there, fellas. I done been there,
yeah,
man. My penis and got me in so much trouble, man. I'm like, ah, dang, you nosy, dude. You just nosy. You just nosy for no freaking reason. It gets you in so much stuff, man, and it causes
yeah,
so much stuff, and you're like, oh my God. And so that's why it's important to bring your nosy penis up under subjection and just
yeah.
refrain from it, man, because when you do that, you relinquish your power. Fellas, do you not understand when you having sex with these women, you relinquishing your power? You
Yes, you are.
relinquishing it. You relinquish your power.
Yep.
You relinquish your power because I'm
Mm-hmm,
telling you, man, that thing is a powerful force.
mm-hmm.
God
And
knew
then,
what he was doing when man with that thing right
yeah,
there, man. It's like, man, listen, you relinquish your power, man. So there's 2 areas you got to work on. You got to work on having some willpower when it comes to your
mm-hmm,
sexual urges, and stop the constant, consistent, desperate, stalking like chase.
yeah,
Because whatever you chasing is running away from you because you're constantly chasing it. You got to you got to get your power back.
Yeah.
You got to get your power back, man.
Yeah. And you relinquish power, Sean, not only physically, mentally, emotionally,
Right?
especially emotionally. Emotions are their playground. You'll never win there because that's their
No.
playground.
Mm-mm,
But you
don't do it.
also, and this is what guys don't realize, you relinquish your power legally because at any time, she can retroactively withdraw consent. What does that mean? That means that, hey, I hit up these IG girls. I know they do massages and they give happy endings, and I'm gonna pay them to get it done. We had a good time. We did a few sessions. Wait a minute. She's withdrawn consent. She say, oh, well, I feel differently now about our interaction. And now you in some stuff. Now you got 24 lawsuits against you because now everybody want to jump on the lawsuit because now they see a chance to get some money and they like, oh yeah, I feel differently about our interaction now. After it already happened. So you have to be careful about that. Chris
You
Brown
got
just went through that. If Chris
you got
Brown hadn't had the receipts, he'd be in jail right now.
right, right. I mean, and that's the thing. That's why you see real powerful men paying for it.
Yeah, straight up.
They're paying for it. Let me tell you why guys pay for it. Guys pay for it. They pay for these high profile escorts so they won't have to deal with that type of nonsense. They
Yep.
pay they pay for them to leave.
Mm-hmm.
They pay for them to leave. It's an easy transaction. It's done. There's no drama. There's no nonsense. And they pay for them to leave. Listen, I'm not saying I condone it, but I freaking get it because you ain't got to deal with none of the nonsense that comes with it.
Yeah.
There was nothing. It's a clean break. Here these $1,000, give me what I
Mm-hmm.
want, and then old boy is gone, and then she done made her paper, and then everybody's happy. That's why you see these high profile athletes and things of that nature, and all these people, politicians, whatever you want to call them, they all doing that. And listen, man,
Yeah. Oh,
we let's let's cut the bullshit. It's happening.
it's happening.
Let's just cut it, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
happening. Let's just be real. Let's call a spade a spade. Y'all know that's what happens. So my thing about it is, it's best for you to probably. I'm not saying, I mean, if you go that route, you ain't got to worry. You saving yourself from a whole lot of trouble
Yeah.
because now you're getting caught up. And I heard that's Chris Brown's story. If he hadn't had his receipts, he'd have been screwed.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
would have been screwed, man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you got to be very careful in who you dealing with.
Absolutely.
You just have
Absolutely, man.
you just have to, man. You have to, you know,
Yep.
get you some evidence, man. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
get you some evidence, man. Get you, even if you have to give evidence that you see that you show that it's consensual. Well, here's this
Yeah.
video,
Too. And we talked about
you
it
know,
before.
right,
Hey, you want to have the money, the hose, the clothes, the ice dripping. You want to be a ball player. You want to be an athlete. You want to be a rapper. You want to be a singer. You want to be the dope boy. You want to be the kingpin. You want to be a
right,
prominent man, high value man, whatever. You want to be a man with the status, the money men want to be and women want. Those men are targets. Never forget that. Yeah, he lead a nice life. Yeah, he got these things, he got these women out, but he's also a target. And it doesn't take anything tangible to get money out of him because the way people lose their money mostly is through lawsuits. Because you got it to
right,
where now a woman can say, hey, LeBron James did this to me 10 years ago at a beach party in Miami. And now LeBron has to fight that. If she sues him, he has to spend money to defend himself. And most likely, they're going to tell him to go ahead and settle with her so it'll go away because all she's doing is trying to get a money grab. So you have to remember that. Is that what you want to go through? Because dude, that stuff costs money.
yeah, it does, man. It does, and it's not worth it at the end of the day.
No, no, because at
You
the
know,
end of the day, what have you really gained, Sean? That's the question I always ask myself. When I get to those times where I'm just like, man, that lower member is starting to get a little nosy. He's starting to get a little inquisitive about this woman and that woman. And then this person, this girl just texts me. And then I got this girl from now, man, it's getting real tough. But then I sit and I think about it. I'm like, what are you going to gain from this? How is this going to help you? How is this going to help you progress? How is this going to make you a better YouTuber? Is this going to make you a better content creator? Is this going to help you with your diet? Is this going to help you with your fitness goals? Is this going to help your life in any way, shape, fashion, or form and add to it? Is it? Most likely not. Overwhelmingly, most likely not.
Right.
I mean, the only way it does is if this woman is she 10 toes down and she reciprocating that energy. Outside of that, it's not bringing nothing.
Nothing.
It's taking, actually.
You getting set back, brothers. You getting set back, bro. Trust me.
Yeah.
You get set back. Like I said earlier, you get set back mentally, emotionally, and financially, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you know, you can't be pissed off at nobody but yourself.
Nobody but you.
Nobody but yourself. And next time going in, you'll be smarter. So that's why it's best, man, to just refrain from that activity and focus on your purpose. Stack your paper. Because when you ain't dealing with that nonsense, first of all, you got money in the bank. Tell me what you drink. You ain't got no drama. You ain't got no stress. You ain't got nobody playing Jedi mind tricks with you. You ain't got to deal with that narcissistic behavior, you know, and all that stuff being turned around on you, and that you ain't got to deal with all that stuff. And then your paper right.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I like seeing money in the bank, bro. And when that money ain't in the bank, and I done made some foolish decision, I can't get nobody mad. I can't get mad but none but my dumb ass. I can't get mad at nobody but me. But I say this, and I say it once. I may play myself, but I will never play myself twice in the same fashion and form. You won't get me two times.
Nope.
When you come at me again, you be like, I don't know who this cat is. I can't. It's like, it's like Fort Knox. You ain't getting in there.
Yeah.
You ain't getting in there. Ain't nobody getting my power. Nobody. Unless they got my last name.
Yeah.
Nobody. I'm
about
sorry. It's not happening. It is not happening because she has earned the right to get it.
Yep.
You feel me? You dig? Some people may not agree with that, but I got to protect my best interests at the end of the day until I make it to that place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because all you doing is playing yourself, bro.
Yeah.
You playing yourself, and then you emotionally set back, mentally set back, financially set back, and she getting dug out by somebody else.
Yep. Absolutely. And this is not to scare you, man. Especially
no, it's not. It's not to scare.
It's not meant to scare you. It's
she
just
getting dug. She getting dug the hell out by somebody else.
Somebody
she can lie all day.
Yeah, it's happening. Hey, a buddy of mine, he talking about. Hey, I take it like this. Hey, if she ain't in my eyesight and that ain't my wife, she dealing with some other dude. Straight up. She could have been bedridden for 10 weeks. You was dealing with somebody. You dealing with somebody else. You dealing with some other dude.
Yeah, my mom taught me that game, man. My mom taught me that at 16.
Yeah.
She said, "Baby, we the biggest liars. We cheat the most. We cheat smartly.
Yeah.
When we dealing with things with you, we already got old boy that's lined up already. We already got him. He already lined up. I already been talking to him. I'm already when I'm moving fast with you, trying to get you up out of there. I already got somebody else lined up.
Yeah.
My mom, that came from a woman. Do you know how dangerous and do you know how crazy I was looking to hear my mother tell me, my mama, not the chick off the street, not the chick in college or school, high school, not the chick on the job. That's my freaking mama telling me about how they move.
Yeah.
And then I still messed up and got it wrong. Still went out there with my nosy penis and still screwed it up. Yeah. See how you get the information to the test and still take the test. You got the answer sheet and still fail. That was my dumb ass. Failing left and right. But I tell you once, you may get me one that way. You won't get me. No, sir. No, no, partner. It's not going to happen. Unless that thing reciprocal on all fronts, we ain't got nothing to talk about and we have nothing to discuss.
Yeah.
Because trust me, like my mama has said, baby, when that thing goes sideways, she being dug out and dug out immediately. And they gonna
Yeah.
lie and say this and all that. Girl, please, come on, man. Yeah, you know what? Stick to saying the truth because you can't even lie good. Lying don't look good on you. You know how I know because I've been the genius at lies. So I mean, man, you can't even lie good. I know you're lying because I don't even sound your lie ain't even compelling. At least let the lie be compelling. At least entertain me with the lie. Let me give me a little bit of something of truth that I'm gonna believe it. Do you think I'm gonna believe that bullshit of the shit that's coming out your mouth? You doing all this nonsense or whatever? Hey, you finna
Mm-hmm.
get dug out by some other dude. You know, I
Yep.
hope it works out for you. Good luck. But I
Yeah.
ain't moving like you moving. I ain't trying to. I'm like, no, because if I'm there with you, if I loved you, if I was in love with you, I ain't thinking about digging none of these heifers out here. You know why? Because first of all, I'm mad for the investment. I'm mad because of my time. I'm mad because of the money I wasted. I am mad at myself. Do you think I'm going to do? I don't need to. Just the thought of it just makes me nauseous. Just makes me want to throw up in my freaking mouth. No, I ain't finna play myself. I'm like, no, I already played myself. I'm finna get out there now. You go ahead and get dug out. You do
Yeah.
what you can. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, and fellas, I'm sorry, fellas, that pretty privilege, it works. The pretty
Yeah.
privilege works, fellas. It's working for them.
Yeah. It does.
If they pretty, it's working for them, man. It's
Yeah.
working for them, and they are
Yeah.
getting dug out.
And
I don't
an
care what
example
she
of that.
tells you. She getting dug out by somebody else.
An example of that, Sean, is shoot, and this some homework for the guys, man. Look up the story of the rapper Trouble from Atlanta, and look at the details around that story, where this girl had just broke up with her. She supposedly broke up with her boyfriend, who she had been with for a while, and but he
Right.
was still living there. His stuff wasn't out of there. He was still living there, and she brought the rapper Trouble back to her place. The dude broke in to come there to confront her and woke her up by punching her in the face, then got into it with Trouble, shot and killed him. Now you got this. And he turned himself in. So now you got a guy that's dead. You got a guy that's in jail. And where is she right now? Getting dug out by the next guy.
Exactly.
2 lives ruined. One
Let me share.
gone, one in
Yeah.
jail.
Let me share you a quick story. So this is a true story on my mama and my kids. So here's the thing. Me back in the day with the old good guy shit. You know what? Boy, I almost want to curse so bad about that good guy shit, doing the good guy shit. You know, um, gave chick all this money to go out of town. Blah blah. She came out of town, came back in, whatever, whatever. Man, here my old, lost in love, new edition ass, putting the, cards on the door and taking a stem of flower and putting a stem of flower on each card and shit. And then I'm calling and I'm calling and I'm calling. Hey, we gonna do, this back when Blockbuster was kicking it live back in the day. Yeah, I got us a couple of movies, baby. Skiz Eyes and Wizard, I got a couple of movies. I'm gonna come over and cook dinner for you and and rub your feet and shit, all the parlez-vous français bullshit, trying to romance the stone and all this bullshit and shit. And here I am, Friday. She got back in town. Friday, I'm paging. This is when pages was out. I'm paging, I'm calling, I'm calling, I'm paging, I'm paging, I'm calling. I'm
Yeah.
doing sneaky drive-bys. I don't see nothing. And then, boom, here comes Saturday. I'm calling, I'm paging, I'm paging, I'm calling, I'm calling, I'm paging. And here comes Sunday. I'm calling, I'm paging, I'm calling, I'm paging. I'm sick to my stomach. Here come Monday. I didn't call off work. I didn't lie to my boss, and I'm missing out on Monday. And so Monday night, about 12 midnight, I get an umption. I get an umption, and I just go and I just drive by. As I go into the door is ajar, fellas. Now, here's the thing. Now, fellas, it gets real interesting. We got a house together, my name on the mortgage and her name on the mortgage. Yes,
Mm.
sir. I can't make this up. Here I am. Here I am in some Roche motel because she needed space. So here I am. As I go to the door and the door is ajar, It's pitch black dark. And then she walks up to me and be like, what the hell you doing in my house? I mean, you mean what the hell I'm doing in our house?
Yeah.
And and the plot thickens. See, whatever going on, it's going to come out. My mama watched me go through all this, and she said, that chick ain't going to have no luck. Here's the ticker. 2 months later, she was married to somebody else. 2 months, 60 damn days, she was married to somebody else. So let me tell you something. That's on my dead mama. I lived that. So fellas, this don't mean shit. You see all this cosmetic and all these muscles, that shit don't mean shit. You could get played. Listen, if Halle Berry could get played, J-Lo could get played, brothers like me could get played, Michael B. Jordan, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Your looks, smidget. Yeah, we gonna get the attention. They gonna look because they like that. The anatomy is hard not to look. It's hard not to look at a fine ass brother or a fine ass chick. Let's just be real about the matter. But that don't exempt your ass from getting played.
Yeah.
You can have. Let me tell you something. You could be the perfect gem, the perfect jewel in the wrongs of but in the hands of the wrong person. That perfect gem in the hands of the wrong person will F you up. I was so messed up. I was so distraught. And this was the 1 year that I went without working out, B. I went a whole 365 days without working out. And I tell you, on the love of Gwen, and God know I ain't lying, if it wasn't for that woman, I probably would have never got myself together. But one thing my mama told me, she said, I don't care what you go through. Don't you let not one of these women, don't you give them power unless she's your wife.
Yeah.
When you do that, you are setting yourself up. She said, now that chick played you. She got money at you, boom, boom, bam, bam. And then when I found out that she got married 2 months later, I was even more sick. My mama looked me in the face. She said, ain't nothing happened to that girl. And then she went through 1, 2, 3 marriages, and they all failed. See, karma came back around. It just it's gonna take a little time. It's gonna take a little time. So don't buy in the hype. All that space shit and all that other, man. You know what? Let me tell you something. I would rather believe that I can run through hell with gasoline drawers on than believe that space thing is legit.
It's not legit.
So my thing here, young brothers, I'm telling you how I got played at 25 years old. I got played. Now I got played again, but it's okay. But trust me, like what B said and what I said, she getting dug out by somebody. 9 times out of 10, dude probably ain't even better looking than you.
Yeah.
But guess what? A lot of them thrive off of attention or whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're in a bad place with you. Now, now they're in a so-called space with them, but that's their MO. They got a series of hit and runs doing that shit.
Yeah. You know what? That'll mess you up.
And when I tell you it F me up, and when I tell you if it wasn't for Gwen, let me know. Boy, you can have look at you. You can look at you. You can have anything you want, Sean. Don't you let that damaged, toxic individual ruin you for the good thing that's out there. Don't you let that because it did. It ruined me for a long time. It ruined me for years. That one situation at 25 ruined me for years. Couldn't let nobody in, whatever. Didn't care. Breaking hearts left and right. I just give a damn. But it will. But don't set yourself up, man. Don't set yourself up, man. And my mom told me, she said, what did I tell you when you was a teenager? Didn't I tell you we play this game way better than you? Didn't I tell you we play this game way better than you? Didn't I tell you we the only people who can sex you down one day and the next day don't want nothing to do with you? Didn't I tell you we're the only person? We're the only person that had that type of behavior inside of us where we could turn it on and turn it off. But my mom told me this. She said, a narcissist is the only person who can turn love on and supposedly love off like a light switch. That's a narcissist, not a person
Mhm.
who really loves you. A person that really loves you can't turn it on and turn it off. A person that truly loves you can't go and get dug out by somebody else because she really loved you.
Yeah.
She needs time to heal, and he needs time to heal. He ain't trying to be out there like that and stuff like that. You ain't gonna run into them somewhere in the mall or whatever 6 months down the road, and she already got over you, and now she all lovey-dovey with this dude.
Yeah.
Only narcissists have that type of moving motive type of behavior. They can turn it on and turn it off like it's nothing. You don't know who the hell you talking to. You like, who the hell is this? Be careful, guys. Ladies, be careful too, because the men doing the same. They doing it, but we ain't never. My mama say, boy, y'all ain't never gonna have nothing on us.
Yeah.
That came from a woman. I never forgot that. I remember it to
Hey,
this day.
and this is the part that's going to mess you up, guys. I'm just letting you know this. I'm gonna let you know this, and you probably have seen this, and it does make you feel some type of way when you've seen this and this has happened to you. The guy who has next, who comes after you, doesn't pay the same price that you paid. Most likely, he pays way less.
Oh yeah.
The things that you did, yeah, all that stuff you did, Sean. Whoever that dude was, she married. He ain't do none of that.
Mm-mm.
Probably ain't do not.
Probably,
Probably
probably,
ain't do
probably
not an
didn't.
ounce of that. Yeah.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
then that right there will piss you off even more
Right.
because you're like, man, this dude ain't even half of what I am, and she, what is this? You know, that'll piss you off. But hey, like I said, it doesn't matter. Let her go. Let her move on. Don't
Do
matter
it. Do it, man.
because what it is, hey, this is addition by subtraction. That's how you have to look at it.
That's it.
Like the Jaguars. If you're a Jaguar fan, it was like, hey, people ask me, Robert, how are the Jaguars going to do this year? I said they're going to be better because Urban Meyer is no longer the coach. Forget the draft, forget free agency, forget the additions, Trevor Lawrence, ETN. They're going to be better off the fact that he's gone. You're going to be better from the fact that she's gone. Just know that.
Indeed. Indeed. What's your final thoughts, B?
Vote with your wallet and vote with your feet, man. That chair loud. You got to put some oil in that chair. Hey, vote with your wallet and vote with your feet, man. Hey,
Right. Right.
that's all. That's best thing I can tell you because they're not going to respect anything. And this is with anybody. This is not just for the men. This is for women too, and
Right.
this is for any of your relationships. And this is how you take your power back. When the disrespect starts, remove yourself
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't get better after that. I don't think
Nope.
people really understand that. Once it
Mm-mm.
starts, because it can start small or it can start big, but however it
Right.
starts, when it starts, you need to extinguish it right away because all it's going to do is get worse. Because
Right.
if you let this behavior slide, if you let this disrespect slide, it's going to grow more and more and more each day. Like if you see a woman out openly disrespecting a man, you've seen the videos of women doing stuff like that baby mama openly disrespecting that guy for bringing food for his kid. She's done it multiple times already.
Oh yeah.
So I don't feel bad for when she does it in public to you because there was something leading up to this. Y'all weren't just all lovey-dovey, and then that day she decided she wanted to be a biatch. No, she had been doing that for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Just like you got people in your life, when relationships, whether it's family, it's business, or whatever, when people start to disrespect you, it's going to be done. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
get worse and worse and worse and worse over
Oh yeah.
time.
Oh
So
yeah.
you got to nip it in the bud right there. Go ahead, take your power back, remove yourself from the situation. Hey, you're going to have some scars from it, especially if you care about this person. It is
Right.
what it is. We all go
Yep.
through it. Suck it up, buttercup, and move on.
Yep. Been there, brother. You'll be all right. Listen, my final thought. This is for men and women on both ends. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Stop allowing that emotional attachment be the deciding factor of your decisions. Because an emotional mind is a narrow mind, and no good decisions comes from an emotional place. When you base your decisions off emotions, your feelings, once that smoke clears, you'll realize it wasn't the right decision and choice to make. You may not see it right then and there, but you will see that again. Fellas, fellas, stay self-aware. Ladies, stay self-aware. Don't lie and say that you're living your best life when you ain't even got your power back to live your best life. Be real with yourself, man. Eh, I mean, just be real with yourself. Again, none of us have all the answers. We all are trying to figure it out. We're
Yeah.
in the same boat, whether we want to admit it truly or not. But listen, man. Hey, B, tell the people how they can find you, man, on all your social
Oh
media
yeah,
outlets.
Brandon Lampley on all social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Follow your boy. I do my sport. Should have be on my sports show this weekend. We get it done. If not, it'll be early next week. Man, we got a lot to talk about. Man, it's the NBA free agency. Kevin Durant won out of Brooklyn. The guy Miles Bridges supposed to do. He's supposed to be a top free agent getting this money, Sean. And this is for young men. Miles Bridges played for the Charlotte Hornets. He's supposed to be getting this money. He just got had to turn himself in because of an altercation he had with a woman who supposedly is not his wife. So now this man, he was looking at top free agent money. And then
Wow.
on top of this, he posted a photo on his story on IG of him having a cup full of purple lean, which is, illegal in some states, with the codeine, the cough syrup in it, and then a blunt in his hand. And so he had posted that to that. So I'm like, dude, do you want to play in the NBA?
Ever?
Do you? Do you? I mean, like, come on, man. But so check us out. We're gonna talk about Miles Bridges, and we got a couple more stories. Oh, and Eddie Curry, Sean. If you haven't heard Eddie Curry's story, the played center and power forward. I think for the Bulls. He played for the Knicks. He played
Uh,
for a couple of teams. Dude, he got married in high school, and the story he tells about his ex-wife, who's constantly trying to get money out of him, she's coming after his pension now. Sean, they never lived together, and they were only married for like 4 or 5 years. His son that he had out of that marriage is 18 now. She coming after his NBA pension now. Dude, you gotta hear that story, man. Eddie, all it was him being unaware and not knowing the laws. Before you sign any paperwork, you better know it in and out. That means getting married, know the laws, know it through and through, man. Because hey, you may be broke today, you may be making average money today, but you don't know what you're going to be doing tomorrow.
that's right, man. Things can change in the blink of an eye, buddy. Just because you're
Right,
down right now, don't mean you're gonna be down tomorrow. Mom used to tell me that one, baby. Things could be
straight like
changing in the
that.
black and eye. You could be down. They looking at you, and then tomorrow they gonna have to look up at you. Tell him, man. God amazing that way, and things. My grandma used to constantly say, things don't always remain the same, baby. You may be out right now. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna get through it.
Yeah,
Trust me, they'll see you again. All right, man. Y'all stay up, man. Remember, love is love. And just like I always say at the end of every segment, I'll start judging people once I'm perfect too. But since I'm in no danger of ever becoming perfect, you never have to worry about this brother ever judging me. B, I'm gonna contact you offline, man, for our next one.
for sure.
All right, good people. Peace. Love is love.
Peace out.